What if there was a quick change that you could make within self that would change your energetic field, your magnetic field, and shift how quickly and powerfully you manifest things into your life? Well, that's what this video is about today. And it's a simple mindset shift that you can make to change what you manifest, how fast you do it, and your entire energetic field. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, I like to make things practical. So I take these spiritual concepts and explain them in the way that they are actually applicable in your life. And if you don't want to miss out a video on how to make spirituality practical for you, then make sure to subscribe to this channel and turn your notifications on so you don't miss an upload like this. Growing your energetic and magnetic field to pull in different manifestations is not a new concept to spiritualists. So if you're somebody who's been on a spiritual journey for a while, you'll know exactly what I mean by increasing your magnetic and energetic field to pull in your manifestations. But coming to a simple way to do that is a lot more difficult. And to understand a lot of things first needs to be in place before the simple mindset shift will actually have such a powerful impact on your life. So I'm going to take you through this whole concept in today's video and hopefully share something that has been truly deeply valuable to me and hopefully add immense value in your life. If you want to help me out, let me know in the comments where you're from. I love to see where you guys are all from, and just a little comment of I come from this country does huge things for the algorithm to help me grow this channel. When we take a look at what we want to manifest, when we say I want to have life at this level, we must understand one thing that we're actually going for in the first place. What we are trying to do at the core is to feel a certain way. So we in our minds believe that certain things, people, and places in our space can shift the way we get to experience life. That's easy enough to understand. But how do we take that and actually get those things that we want? Well, it's to understand that firstly, the feeling you want to feel does not come from getting the things you want to get. It only comes from choosing to feel it within. And the way that we can do this at a much better rate is realizing that the things in this world do not have built-in value or meaning. We have to assign it. And as soon as we say that something, someone, or somewhere has got value, what we're saying is that this thing that we want is bigger than ourselves. As soon as we assign any value into the natural world, what we should do is assign the value to the feeling it's going to give us, and then realize we can self-supply that feeling. If we say, I'm going to choose in my space right now to feel as though I have the thing I want, that increases our frequency and it doesn't hyperinflate its value. Now, the reason that we have to do that is so that it is obtainable. Because if we say something is of so much great value and it has the power to shift my state of self, we are reducing our value and increasing its value, and then it becomes unobtainable. We never want things to be bigger than us in value. The emotions within us that we get to experience are the primary thing to experience. So the way in which we can devalue these things so that we don't tie this intense meaning and value to it, which then makes it unobtainable, is to understand what it is at its core. And we know that that is energy. At the core of everything, it is just energy. One collective existence in frequency, vibration, and energy. And once we draw this line and we start to question ourselves with why we're valuing this group of energy way more than other energy, we can start to see the imbalance, and that helps us devalue the natural world. Enough to the point where we can manifest it. Now, a way to help you do this, to see things as energy and not these valuable things, is to look at it as vibration. It is frequency, it is just atoms vibrating at a certain frequency, and that appears to be something to us. And one of the ways that I like to express this to people when I speak about this is to go into the perspective of a blind person. If you were blind, what is the value of a green Lamborghini versus an orange one? You're indifferent. You can't even perceive the difference in color. So once we remove the sense that will experience it, we see that the value in what we are perceiving goes away. So if you remove all of your senses, so now you can't smell in your imagination, you can't see, you can't smell, you can't taste, you can't feel, you can't hear, what is the value of a Lamborghini? It has absolutely no value to you. So where would value be to somebody without senses to experience the world? It will all be within. Because how can someone exist without value then? So the identity of self is not limited to the experience we get to have. And that's a really powerful realization to come to. And it helps devalue things in the world to the point where they become obtainable. So before I take you through the magical explanation that I told you about, the one mindset shift to help you up your energy and start pulling things in, it's devaluing the natural world first. And that's the first point you have to understand before we can get into this magical thing. If this has excited you so far, if this is all resonating and you're like, oh wow, that actually makes sense, hit the like button and the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, you won't miss more videos like this, and it lets me know how well I'm doing in explaining these points. The next point to understand before we get into the mindset shift is that once things don't have value, we can see them for what they are. They are just energy and vibration. Now, a car can never become a flying goat. Like, that's just not possible for a car. It can't become a flying goat. So its frequency is locked in. What it is on a frequency level is one tone, one note. Like on the piano, if I were to play one single note, that is the note of the things that we want. And the reason that they have to stay the same is because we are the changeable frequency. We are the ones who can change the frequency we vibrate at. And what that will start to do is call in the frequency match. Just as much as everybody on the planet loves music, okay? I know that there's the outliers who don't like music, but we're talking about the general population in this example. We know how people love music. If I start playing notes that don't resonate, and I'm actually going to show this to you. If I play these two notes together, we can feel the mismatch. We can feel that discomfort, like something's not right. Those frequencies don't work together. But if I play these, we can feel that they do. We can hear it. It all aligns. And this is what's happening on a spiritual level. That's the best way to explain like the picture that's going on in my head. This is what's happening on an energetic spiritual level when things are in your space or not in your space. If you are not at the right frequency, everything else stays at what it is, but you can only fall into harmony with the frequencies that match yours. And this is why I use the example of the ocean, where sand is all at the bottom. It's the heavy, dense, vibrating energy. Water is in the middle, which is a little bit lighter and a little bit more free. And then we have the air on top, which is free atoms that are very light and they go all around. We don't see a mixture of sand just floating in the air. It would not be a frequency match, so it would not attract that situation for itself. Now, you are the note that can change. You are the thing that can change into a different frequency. And the way we know what these frequencies are is through emotion. What we feel is our energy and our frequency. So if we get onto the frequency of love and joy and fun and like all of this free energy, we start to say, hey, we play a note and we say, hey, all of the things that match with this, now you can come to me because I'm ready to receive you. If you're in a state of misery, depression, victimhood, then all of the things that will reflect that will become and be a part of that energy. But you can change. So that's the next biggest thing to understand before I get to this mind shift that you can have. Okay, so now that we have the two bases covered, for the most important parts about this mindset shift I'm going to give to you now, we understand that we can't have value in things and that we are the thing that can change. We move into this mindset shift. Treat everything that you want to manifest as though it can feel, hear, understand, and know you. Have a relationship with it. Develop this idea in your mind that you can actually communicate with and be a part of these things that you want to be a part of. When we start to develop this relationship with the things we actually want to experience, we are energetically creating the story to get onto that frequency match with it. And it might sound really silly, but take a look at the perfect Lamborghini you want, or the perfect partner you want, or whatever it is. And imagine that you actually have a relationship, a developing relationship with these things, and that they can feel, that they are aware of how you feel about them, they are aware of how you feel about yourself, and they are responding based on that, like they understand you. Imagine that the atoms and frequency had this knowing perspective. Start to look at the secrets within you, and imagine how much of your mind, that if it were displayed in a transparent box, like everything you thought and felt, was on a big screen for everybody to see, how much of that would you be embarrassed by? How much of that would you not want people to know about? How much of that would not align with the ultimate version of you that you want to be? And start to let go of those parts of you, because those are the gossipy friends, those energy things that you don't actually align with. Those are the problematic friends in the group who are talking crap about you behind your back to the things that actually want you and the things that you actually want. So imagine that everything you ever wanted, everyone you ever wanted, and the place you wanted to be was all conscious and heard you, and that where you are right now is a reflection to the value system you have of yourself. So the place you want to be, the things you want to have are all sitting there going, he's not really worth me yet. This is a clear indication to you of, oh wow, I've hyperinflated their value. The value needs to be within you. If you turn all valuation systems inward by treating everything as though it were aware and knew your deepest, darkest secrets, the way you feel about things and think about things, and you started to see it this way, what would happen is you and yourself will start to expand that energy within. You're saying all the value that could possibly exist in my life exists within my heart and my mind and the way I view things. And if you think about it, it couldn't be more true. Like I said with my earlier example of being blind and being deaf and having no senses, your interaction with the world would be irrelevant because its value isn't there. That's actually the true state of self. Why do we have vision though in these 5 senses then? To see the reflection of ourselves. If we do not have abundance, we do not see ourselves as abundant. If we do not have love, we do not love ourselves. And I'll give you this really cool thing that Bashar says. If you want to see one of his videos, I'll link my favorite one in the description. Bashar is a channeler and he supposedly speaks from this ET. Like there's this ET that gets channeled into his body and speaks. I'm not going to argue about whether that's real or not. I just love the messages behind it. And what the message was if you think you lack confidence, you are confident in that concept. You cannot lack confidence without being confident about the lack. So if you lack in your life, you're confidently lacking. That is your energetic frequency match, and that can change. You are the only changeable frequency. So choosing yourself, what you want to feel, release and cut the ties to the natural world that you think are going to make you feel that way, and choose to live with that feeling right now. Own it. Own that shit. It's yours. That feeling is what will then start shifting your frequency, and the things will go, oh, I need to be worthy of that person now. And they will run in to that space to be a part of the story. They become your fans. The things you want start running towards you. So if this has resonated, guys, hit the subscribe button. Chat to me in the comments. I would love to know more of you and chat to more of you. Thanks so much for being here all the way to this point. I hope to see you on the next video. Mad love and light.